Power. Who wants it?
I think it already happened.
Get it. Well, the network never gave me the power. I gave the power to the network. Why? Because in Extreme Championship Wrestling, the man with all the power is the man who stands with Rhino.
Rob Van Dam. Who Rob? Oh, they call you the whole effing show. Rob Van Dam, you haven't shown me anything yet. Oh, you say I didn't break your leg. I proved you wrong. You said you were gonna take the ECW World Television title from me. Oh, I proved you wrong. Rob Van Dam, it's guys like me, guys from the streets of Detroit that kick the living out of yuppie piece of like you, Rob Van Dam. When you're up there in Battle Creek, rolling your joints, smoking your dope, I'm coming after you, Rob.
RVD, Rhino.
RVD bringing it to the street.
To the streets of Detroit Rock City.
Oh, man. That was great. What'd you think about that?
I thought it was amazing.
I don't like watching it. I like listening to this. You're too close, man.
Right? Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 35. Up in smoke.
Up in smoke, Juice. I'm coming for you.
You mean we're smoking dog shit, man? Speaking of those guys, they're coming around the region. Cheech and Chong. What's the date on that, Sret? It's sometime in January, right?
Yeah, I think I think February. I'm not sure.
New Buffalo?
Yeah.
What's that?
Four Winds Casino, New Buffalo.
Four Winds.
That's a lovely Four Winds Casino, hotel, and resort.
Yeah, Cheech and Chong, man.
They should. Cheech and Chong, one night only. Maybe two, maybe three. I don't know. I forgot.
The Four Winds owes us for that plug.
They do owe us for that. I'll be expecting a royalty check in the mail.
In the mail, ladies and gentlemen.
In the army. I'm handsome. I'm brave. I'm strong.
So, Juice, who's with you today?
With me, as always, is Sreten the Savage. What's up, Sreten?
Hi. He's always so savage.
He is. And back once again, the GM, here to keep everybody tied down and up tight. Big Ed the Assassin, what's going on?
I'm just here trying to make everybody up in smoke, son.
Oh, yeah, me too, man.
Where are we? This whole place seems a little unfamiliar. The listener doesn't know.
It's an asylum.
We're in Big Ed's Asylum. We're not on holiday today. I can't get over that. I'm sorry. Holiday. Sreten's on holiday today. But I do like holding these mics. I feel like Sean Mooney.
Sean Mooney from WCW. Sean Mooney from WWF.
Yep. Yeah, we're on location at Big Ed's Asylum once again. It's the first episode of the Christmas season.
Oh, the Christmas season is upon us.
Yeah, December to dismember.
Oh, and with the Christmas season, we want to talk a little bit about
all the trees
and all those treats.
All those treats and RVD
and
Rob Van Dam.
What, how did you pronounce his last name, though?
Rob Shetkowski. Shetkowski.
Sekowski.
Rob Setkowski. No, we were, me and Ed were sitting around watching some old school ECW on the WWE network, and RVD just popped up, and it was a hell of a match. It was him versus Easy Money, a.k.a. I think his name was Jason Jett, who later appeared in the WCW towards their demise. Super awesome match, and I've been wanting to do an RVD one for a long time because, in my opinion, he's probably as big as he was and is probably still one of the most underrated guys ever.
I will tell you right now, as wrestler,
yeah,
Van Dam's my favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
Hogan's my all-time favorite because of the whole just everything about him, the aura,
Hey, you guys playing us off the main?
You know what I'm saying? Juice knows.
Oh, yeah.
Hulkamania. Brother. Hulkamania for life.
For life.
But Van Damme, it was just... I remember when I first got hooked on ECW, I was just like, man, this is badass. And then seeing Van Damme wrestle, I would stop anything that I was doing to watch that dude wrestle.
He was amazing. Not just a frog splash, Shrek. Get it right. It was a
spin kick, split kick,
5-star frog splash. Yeah, come on, baby, come on, everybody.
Yeah, it was
Bill Alfonso, his manager.
That was awesome.
Yeah, baby.
You have to cue the whistles.
Yeah, cue the whistles, Shrek. Blow the whistle.
You had him, and it was just. I mean, it was amazing. I felt like you can put Van Damme with a subpar wrestler, and he would make that match. He would turn that match into gold, and it was awesome watching him. Him and Jerry Lynn had some great. Him and Balls Mahoney had some good fights.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of them. Anybody that he wrestled it was unbelievable. And for that, as far as pure wrestling talent, he did have the personality. Van Damme is my favorite wrestler, hands down. That 5-star frog splash, I don't care what anybody says, I'll argue it to the day I die, was the best 5-star frog. It was the best frog splash in wrestling.
I think better than Eddie Guerrero's, too. He looked like a real damn frog. Yeah.
Grrr. You got to get the
Guerrero.
Only you boys can do that. I can't. I go.
He goes, shut up, Vicky. Shut up, Vicky.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that statement. Haters gonna hate, but hey, the proof's in the pudding. Go watch any of his matches on the network if you got that, or YouTube, and he flies through the air, and the way he adjusts his body in there, because when he would hit that 5-star frog splash, a guy would look like he was halfway across the ring, if not on the complete other side of the ring. Mm-hmm. And they usually have to lay down and set themselves up to take it, kind of horizontally, so the guy can land the move. And RVD would adjust sideways in midair
to wherever the person was laying. He didn't care.
Dude, and it was awesome. And the way he would sell it afterwards, which I'm sure he probably did knock the wind out of himself quite a bit.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
And all those bong hits before matches don't really help when you're working on your cardio.
For sure. And you want to know what? When he went to WWE, even though we got the championship, they didn't use him the way that they should have.
No, but
they buried him.
Unfortunately, a lot of that I think was probably his own doing, because he. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit later on in the episode. But first, I want to kind of give you a brief little history on Rob Van Dam, or as they called him many people might not know, he was in WCW. One of his first matches, and they called him Robbie V.
Robbie Vizzle.
Robbie Vizzle, Televizzle. I said Vizzle twice, and I tried to rhyme with it. Didn't work.
You rhymed Vizzle with Vizzle.
I did. Yeah, he was a jobber in a match. That was my earliest memory, I guess, of Rob Van Dam. I don't even really remember. I have that DVD, the One of a Kind, and I do remember watching that match. But back in the day, you never who the hell is this guy? He kind of looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme a little bit. But this was before he was called Rob Van Dam.
He's be called.
He be called.
He's be called.
This is what he be called in the streets, yo.
Yo, as Rhino would say, from the streets of Detroit.
I gotta love that little promo there. But Rob Van Dam got his start in ECW, which sadly is no longer around anymore, and that's really where he garnered all of his attention. His big shtick was just the over-the-top move set. The guy, his gimmick was he looked like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
And he did the splits just like him. He was super athletic. He was really into smoking the reefers.
Yeah, well, Van Damme was jacked too.
He was really cut.
Yeah.
Was it always known that he was big into the marijuana?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's a big marijuana advocate. He's been
for always.
Yeah, always. Yeah. What was one of his old slogans? It's RVD 420. I just smoked
your ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an original quote by you.
Yeah.
No.
It had the yin yang on the front.
Yeah.
A 420 was in that weird type of
tie dye or something.
Yeah, it was it was cool.
Yeah,
and that was when the Austin 316 kind of really.
Yeah, so everybody's trying to catch up with that. So But it also always made sense, like 420 RVD. I mean, they went hand in hand. It was just
Mr. Monday Night.
yeah, Mr. Monday Night when they did the ECW invasion of WWF, as it was known back then.
Do they have that on the network?
It should be. I believe it is.
It has to be on there.
Because they ECW invaded Raw like on 2 different occasions.
Yeah, it was. And because a lot of it, too, was when Jerry Lawler had that beef, too.
Yeah, extremely crappy wrestling. Yeah. But then he took Sabu and RVD, remember?
Yeah.
And he showed up at ECW, and they were kicking everybody's ass, and it's like, you could come see Rob Van Dam, as Fonzie would say, Mr. Monday Night.
Mr. Monday Night, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rob Van Dam, Sabu.
I'm a deep baby, Sabu, baby. Suicide, homicide, genocide.
Dude, he was so over the top. I have no idea how he didn't just collapse. He was the only manager that the entire match, he was balls out, screaming, yelling,
red
blowing
face.
Blowing the damn whistle.
Super red face.
Oh, yeah. Well, he kind of reminded me of a somewhat still annoying but cooler version of the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hart would always have the megaphone, and he would do, oh, baby, come on, baby, yeah, baby. Whereas Fonz was like, yeah, baby, rap it, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
And he blew that damn whistle, which I can't do it, so I'm not going to.
The whistle was great.
It was so annoying.
It was annoying, but it was still
And remember
great.
that match he had with, was it Francine?
Yeah.
It was super bloody. It was little skinny Bill Alfonso versus, it was Francine, right?
He got the shit beat out of him.
Oh,
though.
yeah. It was, oh, God. And it turned into a bloodbath. And it actually turned into it was a really good match. It was, believe it or not, between a valet and a manager, ex-referee.
Yeah.
And it was just a bloodbath.
Not to get off topic, but I met Francine. I got my picture taken with her.
Oh, yeah.
I met Francine. This had to be, I'm going to say this was probably 98, maybe 99.
I'm trying to think of a tender GM.
When they came, a tenderoni.
Yeah, I come on tenderonis.
It was 98, 99 when they came to the Genesis Center.
You were little and you
Gary.
looked up and asked her for a picture.
I was like, can I have your picture, please?
Excuse me. No, the skirt's got to come up.
She said no, and I was like, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Screw you guys.
I remember because we went to that show, and we had front row to that show. And like New Jack, Spike, Mike Awesome.
But no Rob Van Dam, right?
Rob Van Dam. That was when his wife was sick, or
Right.
she hurt herself or got sick, and I think
she had some form of cancer or something, if I'm not mistaken. She had some sort of debilitating illness, if you will. Peter Quill.
He missed out probably.
He hates it.
He missed out on a nice chunk of wrestling because of that.
Well, and we'll fast forward. We'll kind of jump ahead a little bit. When he went to WWE and they were bringing back ECW, and they did the one night stand pay-per-views, and they had John Cena versus Rob Van Dam, and it was for the ECW title, which I think at that point was even really around yet. They were just going to crown whoever won that match the champ.
Yeah.
And the WWE title, the shitty spinner belt, was on the line. This was the height of like John Cena popularity too. So, but at the same time, you're in front of an straight ECW crowd in New York that wanted nothing to do with John Cena. So if he won, I suspect that people were fully going to do some
riot,
shit,
dude. They were going to.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember the chairs when they?
Oh yeah, with Terry. Was that Terry Funk?
Yep, it was Terry Funk, and they just started chucking chairs in the ring.
There was like 50 chairs or something in the ring. But so long story short, RVD wins the match and becomes the first ever. And here's a little fun fact for you guys: Rob Van Dam is the only professional wrestler to hold the TNA, the WWE, and the ECW World Heavyweight title.
Really?
Oh, really? That is correct.
But getting back to what I was talking about, so he got busted with Sabu shortly after that for I think it was like some marijuana and some painkillers and shit. And
Remember he was on the cover of High Times with Sabu.
yeah, back in the day. I do remember that.
I actually want to buy that.
I do want to go back and get that. I got the
buy that
old Sports Illustrated with Hogan on it.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, he's the only wrestler to ever be on the cover.
That was when he in that Sports Illustrated he had white on. He didn't have the yellow on, did he?
No,
Red
it was
yellow.
it was just the white headband that said Hulkster on it.
Yep.
And it was like a pink drop background. I loved it.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Do you look at it every night? Do you touch it every
Does that
night?
answer your question? Sreten hates it. He only hates it because it gets messy.
Why are these pages so sticky?
So RVD gets busted for this, and him and Sabu, needless to say, Sabu, I believe, got fired like almost immediately, and they made RVD drop the belt. And after that, they never really gave him a chance to hey, go take care of your shit, and then, come back like they do nowadays. A lot of guys that are in the WWE sponsored rehab that they put on for ex wrestlers and even current superstars. I don't think RVD, I could be wrong, I don't think he ever had the chance to do that. But I know around that time, too, his wife was sick. And he...
In the WWE, she got sick again?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, like I said, I believe, and I could be wrong, it could be misleading you all, but hey, it wouldn't be entertaining. It wouldn't be entertaining if I didn't, now would it? Yeah, she had the cancer or something like that, and he had to take care of her, and he didn't, as far as I know, at least in a major wrestling promotion, didn't do jack shit until he resurfaced in TNA in 2010 when he was the mystery opponent for one, a.k.a. Steve Borden. A.k.a. I just want to say a.k.a. a bunch of times. Sting. The stinker. I mean, the stinger. Yeah, so he showed up back then, but he didn't do anything for a long time because he was doing his thing, and then she ends up getting healthy, I believe, again. If the story goes correct, like I'm telling you right now, she left him and took a good chunk of his fortune. I think he pulled a Linda Hogan, or she pulled a Linda Hogan.
They probably all hang out.
Probably, but it's all right though. RVD's recouped, and he's got a smoking hot wrestling chick girlfriend.
Oh, for sure. His girlfriend now, which you just showed me before the podcast, right before this recording. He's definitely going to chalk one up in the W column.
Yeah.
Do you think
he traded a shoddy for a hottie?
Do you think he can do the splits and then she can do the splits? So when it's time for sex,
that they could scissor me, Mr. Slide.
Oh, scissors.
they splits each other.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure they do. What was the video I showed you? She's doing squats and she's just got him up on.
He's
on
like
her
laughing.
Shoulders. Yeah, he's just kind of laying there like whatever. So here's one thing. Going back to how I believe that RVD was. He was a supremely underrated and influential wrestler, especially the guys you watch nowadays, like the Young Bucks, and even down to the Luchadors. I mean, there's like Pentagon and a lot of these guys, and actually Pentagon, he's had that dream match with Rob Van Dam, and I believe it was ARW wrestling. But going back to those days when RVD was just kind of getting out, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, like check this fucking dude out! Like he likes to fucking smoke, he's doing all this crazy shit." And it didn't translate well when WWE finally bought it, because he had been in WWE, here and there before the buyout of ECW, and it wasn't that bad because he wasn't in really like a major speaking role or anything like that. But then once he was already established star, he comes in, it's like, all right, dude, we got a shitload of dream matches lined up for this guy. And they didn't really have him talk or do anything. Like, I remember I worked at KB Toy Store right after high school, and they used to have this microphone. It was a toy microphone, right? And you'd hit it, and it'd have, like, different guys, like Undertaker, rest in peace. And RVD had 3 sayings on it, and it was, whatever, and okay. Like, that's what he was reduced to,
know.
It's like, well, we can't, we don't want to promote that he gets high or anything, so it's just like, whatever. And that just, I don't know, it kind of bothered me. I mean, I get they're not trying to promote drug use or anything like that, but I don't think Rob ever promoted it in a, how would you say, negative light, marijuana. He was always very proactive as far as the uses for cannabis and for medical and just everyday life, the stuff that people kind of push to the side when
Do you have arthritis? Do you like to fucking party?
Yeah. Does your ass hurt? Has your dad been in your basement lately? Well, I've got something for you. But no, he was very active in that, and he's out. He lives out in California now. He's from Battle Creek, Michigan. RVD was one of the first guys too that really, as far as from a wrestling standpoint, that you saw really promote the uses of cannabis on a positive level, not just like, hey, well,
bro,
yeah,
let's get stoned,
yeah.
man. No, it was all about medicinal and how it can help you.
Yeah, he was very, and I remember even years ago on Facebook and Twitter, just watching him being a part of certain documentaries where they were advocating the use of cannabis and medical marijuana and all this stuff. Like, and he knows. I mean, the guy is super smart on the history, the culture of the cannabis culture, I guess you should say. The cannabis culture, cannabis corpse. Had to throw that out there. Shout out to Cannabis Corpse. More than anybody, you know, I really appreciate that he put that in a positive light. But once again, going back to that's something that WWE is never going to really promote. I think even if it gets legalized, you know, across the board federally in this country, I still don't think they're going to, hey, Rob, you want to come back and do your shtick?
No,
even though it'd be awesome.
You got to think, dude. They got shareholders. At the
they're publicly traded. I get that. But it was kind of cool when he came back to TNA in 2010. Like I thought his theme song was pretty rocking. It's pretty cool, you know, the whole effing show. Yeah, the bass thing. I mean, it's not the best in the world, but it kind of it summed him up for me, you know. And then they had like the green kind of bud looking things that would come up on the screen, then RVD and the yin yang sign. So it was like a more modern twist on the ECW version of Rob Van Dam. And the one cool thing, and like I said earlier about championships, with him being the only guy to ever hold the world title in TNA, ECW, and WWE, was he was also a former X Division champion, former tag team champion in WWE. I don't know how many times he won the Intercontinental title in WWE.
Who was he tag champion with in WWE?
Kane.
Was it?
Remember RVD and Kane? Because if my memory serves me correct, and I don't know because I was just kicking it with RVD. Oh yeah, there he goes. The last time we saw the Road Warriors in a WWE ring, RVD and Kane were tag champions, and they had to face a mystery opponent, and Eric Bischoff brought out the LOD.
The Legion of
Doobs.
What'd you say?
The Legion of Doobs. That was an RKO out of nowhere.
As Stone Cold would say, what?
What? Anybody got any Broken Skull IPA?
Some Steve Weisers.
He's like, I mean it. You better bring some other beer out here. Hot fucking damn.
This tastes like bullshit.
What, it's a sex on the beach? This tastes like sugar or dog shit.
Next drink.
Next.
Hey, we got to post that in the JP Dub after this. That's still, that's one of the greatest.
It's great. We use that for our Stone Cold episode. For episode 32, that was a good entrance.
Yeah, he gets so pissed.
He does. He gets mad when he doesn't get his alcohol. Kind of like I imagine RVD would get disgruntled if he didn't have his THC.
He doesn't get his buds.
But going back to RVD, so he does his career kind of winds down and wraps up in WWE once the whole drug scandal and whatnot comes out. The ECW rebirth that Vince McMahon had brought back up, just it didn't go over well. It's a really crappy product. I think the only successful thing that came out of that was the original One Night Stand pay-per-view, and which RVD was not a part of.
You had two
physically. I mean, he was injured during that time.
You had two One Night Stands.
The second one is the one right now that we got on the Doob tube here.
Which that one incorporated more of the WWE wrestlers, where the very first one was specifically all ECW wrestlers or ECW alumni.
Right, but you still had, I think, what was it? The Raw and SmackDown dudes were up in the top, you know, because that was the one where JBL infamously. Look at this fucking coffee stout. It's getting to me now where I can't talk. I can't broadcast.
By Pipeworks.
I think that was the one where
jumbled.
Yeah, JBL just straight shot on the Blue Meanie and busted him open.
Busted him up good. Yeah. Did they have true beef?
I think the whole thing was JBL just didn't like ECW and thought it was all shit, so he wanted to show him the real deal.
Yeah. Now
Just throw up. It's some killer stuff, man.
Just a little bit in my mouth.
He's like, and then the next part of his career.
Well, I had a burp, man. It's this coffee stout.
Decided to make a career change, and he decided to.
He just started to Wreck-It Ralph.
But with the whole ECW thing, the first one night stand I liked because of the fact that Van Dam was hurt that one night.
He was hurt. He came out and he cut a promo, and I think he was really hurt emotionally that he couldn't be a part of that because that was the best one, dude.
Yeah, it was.
I remember watching that one at Hooters. Actually,
What?
Yeah, man. If you're gonna watch ECW come back, you gotta have some tits and ass in front of you, and some wings, wingdings.
Tits, ass, shitty wings, shitty burgers, shitty fries.
All right, I used to work at Hooters too, so.
Did you? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, those skirts are really tight. No, I really did work there though, but I was a cook.
Hey, we were talking about that. If Cena would have won, you said that shit would have hit the roof there.
Yeah.
And it's funny because as we're looking at it, there's a big old sign of Cena wins, we riot.
Up here on the big Edtron we got going.
What did it say? I didn't see.
If Cena wins, we riot.
Oh, yeah. No, but I mean, this was a straight ECW crowd, and this is what we got going on the Tron is ECW One Night Stand, the second version, the second pay-per-view, if you will.
This is 2006, I believe.
Yeah.
Because the first one was 2005.
Right. Hardcore ECW crowd. This is, I would say, Van Dam is probably in his prime here.
Oh, big time.
And holy shit, man! That to win that title, dude, in an environment like that where it's like, dude, ECW at this time it had been dead since what? It had been dead for like 5 years, right?
Yeah, yep.
They folded in like 2000 or 2001. The fans, by popular demand, requested that it had come back. So WCW, yeah, right. WWE, they're doing a little attempt to bring it back, and this is what happened. But I'm going to tell you, I was not a fan of this shit. Like, this match would be the only one I would say would be okay for interpromotional shit.
Yeah.
I didn't really like why are you going to bring ECW back just to fight WWE guys? That's Vince's ego again.
Yeah, for sure.
That's, like when they bring WCW guys in and they lose. Like Sting comes to WWE for the first time, never been there in his illustrious 30-plus year career, and he jobs out to Triple H.
Yeah.
Well, what the hell?
So here's
this is a cool. Like, see, I love how in this, Cena's trying to throw a shirt out to the fans, and they're just not having it. He throws it in a couple different areas. They all throw it back.
They do.
Look, here he goes. Whoop! Coming right back at you. This shit don't fit. RVDC's like, whatever.
Yeah. That's where they got that microphone thing from. That,
right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, he just wants to wrestle, dude. That's it, man. But he was
also a great showman, dude.
He was a great showman. It was perfect because he was super cocky. And the thing that I absolutely loved about Rob Van Dam was that he ended up those moves that he had were amazing.
Innovator, dude. I know Tommy Dreamer's an innovator of violence, but come on, dude. There would be no coast-to-coast Shane McMahon doing that shit if there wasn't first a Van Terminator.
Do you remember when that came out? When they were talking about Rob Van Dam's gonna
they built it up, dude. I'd never seen that before. Like, they built up a finishing move, and he's like, he's gonna display that. What was a pay-per-view or something?
It was a pay-per-view that he's like,
was it Anarchy Rules or something like that?
It might have been, and he was like, Bill Alfonso was like, this is something never been seen before. We got something up our sleeves, baby. Yeah. Rob Van Dam, Yeah. And then when he pulled it off, I remember watching it, my fucking jaw hit the ground. I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe.
And as soon as his jaw hit the ground, my zipper did too.
But I couldn't believe that he nailed that because, dude, I got to tell you what, that takes some severe athleticism to be able to to jump from all the way from one side of the ring to the other.
Well, you figure what they call it? It's 20 by 20
Yeah.
wrestling ring. I mean, so from corner to corner, that's...
Are the ECW ones, are they bigger than 20 by 20, or is that,
I don't know.
that professional
That's a good
size?
question. For those of you out there listening, if you want to call and leave us a message at 1-872-267-4199 and fact check us, I'd love that. And not even that, just let us know. If any of you were around or anybody out there listening that actually set up old ECW rings, let us know.
Yelling here.
Sret thinks we're still in the studio. We're in the Asylum, so everything's going to echo.
It is the Asylum. 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 Asylum.
Yeah, but the Asylum is a respectable establishment.
Well, yeah.
We're actually shooting this in
real time, folks.
in a crawl space with a little bit of dirt,
A little bit of
a
dirt.
little bit of concrete.
We got a big black lab laying at my feet.
Speaking, okay, so
Reacts.
since Wrigley's here, we have to give Wrigley a shout out because he holds grudges.
He does.
He holds those grudges. So back when Wrigley was what, as you would say, a little tenderoni.
He was a tender.
When he was a little guy, AZ Dub came by.
Yeah, the dirt.
And it cracks me up because Anders came by, and Justin's like, dude, he's in one of his fucking moods, man. And he came and just like laid on the ottoman, like didn't say hi to anybody, this or that. Like he was pouting. I was like, man,
He's a little boy.
and I was like, little boy, you know. And so he was laying there. Justin and I are chatting. Out of the corner of our eye, I look up, and Anders is on the ottoman, and he gives Wrigley a frog splash.
Hey, Wrigley gets up like, whoo?
Yeah, oh, dude, Wrigley was pissed. Dude, Wrigley's the most chill dog ever. But still to this day, when he sees Anders, dude, he puts his head down, he starts growling. Dude.
Yeah.
He does.
He wants to eat that motherfucker.
He remembers. He's like, you remember that shit when you frog splashed me back in the day?
That shit wasn't funny.
Motherfucker. That shit wasn't funny. He said, you know what, Anders? Your father's got a wood leg with a kickstand, motherfucker.
Yeah. Anders was doing. He used to do the RVD all the time.
He did, man.
I still have videos when he was little. He'd get on the couch and do the whole effing show, and he'd frog splash the shit out of me. And then he did it to Riggs, and Riggs wanted to eat him.
Yeah, Riggs was tired of that shit. He don't forget. He may be getting old. He may be getting.
He don't forget though, like RVD after a couple of pulls, you know?
No, man.
Couple of draws, and he done lost himself.
I will tell you what though.
Tell me.
Anders had great form on that frog splash.
He did.
So.
He did. It was like a 4.5 star.
4.5 star?
Yeah, it was a 4.5 star frog splash for sure.
For a child. God, why do I love it so much when RVD is just knocking the shit out of John Cena. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. I'm not going to see Bumblebee. Fuck you.
And then John Cena calls in, Justin, you know, we were going to come to your podcast, but now we can't.
And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. All right.
So kind of getting back on track here. RVD shows up in TNA in 2010.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I'm like really impressed that you found the line of thought that you had like from 20 minutes ago. He's like, and then TNA.
No. I like to get off the beaten path once in a while. So he comes to TNA, has some really good matches with Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal. He was actually an X Division champion. I think he beat Kenny King for that. What? Yeah. True story. The one place I haven't seen RVD turn up yet, though, was Ring of Honor. To my knowledge, he's never done Ring of Honor, which is very surprising because they really had that kind of old school ECW vibe.
For sure,
you know?
Absolutely. You would think that that's something that he would have just gravitated to.
I do know that because of an injury that he sustained or a concussion on the Indies, he told his wife, because he's going through his legal battle, and his ex-wife's won all kinds of money, as they always do. And he's like, hey, I can't afford to pay you all this because he can never go back and work with WWE again because of their rigorous testing for concussions and all that. He knows he's not going to pass. So they can't offer him a substantial contract to wrestle. You give him like an ambassador or a Legends contract where it's like, oh, we'll throw in a video game, make some figures, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But nothing substantial, which unfortunately sucks because you're never going to see RVD. I know they always in wrestling they say never, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be slim to none. So let me ask you this: Rob Van Dam, is he a Hall of Famer?
Oh, first ballot.
Absolutely,
first ballot.
When do you call it that Rob Van Dam gets inducted to the Hall of Fame?
Well, see, and here's the weird thing, and I remember tweeting about this a couple years ago, and I think Raven kind of scoffed at me like, "Yeah, right, buddy, get a fucking life." I was like, "Do you think WWE will ever put any of the ECW guys in the Hall of Fame? And if you do, who's the first one that goes?" I remember Raven getting on there kind of like, "Yeah, right, good fucking luck with that." Like, which I could see his point because at the time a few years ago, like, even though ECW and all these guys that came in were super huge and over, WWE just, I can't even begin to wrap my head around their Hall of Fame system, dude. There's no board meeting or anything for it. I think it's probably just Vince and maybe Tripp sitting there like,
Pete Rose.
What can we Donald Trump?
Yeah.
It's going to be a very beautiful Hall of Fame.
It's going to be very, very big.
The best Hall of Fame ever.
I like it. Very beautiful, very big. And by the way, the wall just got 10 feet taller.
The wall! Back out the wall!
Back out the wall! God damn it!
Pinata!
Barbecue! RVD.
Hey, that was Living Dangerously.
Yeah.
For everybody out there, go and watch Living Dangerously 98 or
It's also
99.
on that One of a Kind DVD.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. So Rob Van Dam, anyway, he's wrestling Jerry Lynn, and he goes outside. He's outside of the ropes and everything like that. And they're sitting there fighting, and there's this guy. It's
super fan.
It's super fan.
Bill Swarsky.
RVD for like 30 seconds.
It's on crack or something. He's like, RVD. It's like freaking the fuck out.
You know
I'm surprised Van Dam didn't like give him a spin kick.
Spinning sidekick.
But I don't care though. It's still to this day when I watch that match, I'm like, oh, here's that part where that idiot
still hitting them corners in them low lows, girl, and those low blows, girl.
You know what though? On top of the frog splash and everything like that, you know what I liked is when he
Rolling Thunder.
The Rolling Thunder. But I like when he went. It didn't happen too often. Typically during like tag team matches and stuff like that, when he would pull the guardrails towards him. And then he would get on the top rope and he would do the somersault into the audience.
Oh yeah.
If on the
well, once again, like him being trained by the Sheik, Sabu's uncle, and Sabu being his tag team partner, that was part of his repertoire.
Well, even on the signature,
Andre.
The signature to the ECW, and whenever ECW was on TV or even when they were on pay-per-view, the signature, they had Rob Van Dam, one of his famous ones, when he jumped out and lunged out into the audience and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Awesome. It was like,
it was great.
They had that one, and then they also had it where
that's one of his famous moves right there too, with the chair, the running guy sitting in the corner, and Van Dam runs with the chair, does kind of like the
almost
circle.
like a skateboard, you know?
Yeah. Like the Ninja Turtle shit.
Yeah, for sure. I also liked when on the signature too of all the ECW shows, the best Van Daminator was the one that he gave to Bubba Ray, a.k.a. Bully Ray.
Bully Ray, where you at? You remember earlier he was making fun of Tommy Dreamer on Twitter?
He was.
What do you say? Separated at birth. It was Dreamer jumping off the top rope and then like a blue whale birthing
like a humpback
breaching.
whale.
Yeah, breaching out of water. He's always giving Tommy jokes about being fat. I don't like it.
I'll tell you what, though. I think it's funny when they troll each other. When
it's great.
the old wrestlers troll each other.
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit. It cracks me up. But you had Rolling Thunder was awesome. Rolling Thunder was the split-legged moonsault.
Split leg, yeah, which a lot of people now are caught. John Morrison, dude. The Starship Pain, that's his finishing maneuver now, and I know he does like that little twist thing, but come on. Had there not been a Rob Van Dam beforehand, would he be doing something like that?
No, not at all.
No, like all these RVD's moveset to me was the most unique and original shit I'd ever seen, even still to this day, which some of it's copied, but god damn, son.
The thing I liked about all of Rob Van Dam
his joints weren't the only thing on fire.
The thing that I liked about Rob Van Dam's moves were the fact that I'm a huge guy with finishers that can be done on anybody. I don't like, one of the main reasons I like the Stone Cold Stunner is you can do it on somebody who's 100 pounds or 500 pounds. You can't really, there's some other.
It's more believable,
big time. Van Damme's moves, you can do them on anybody. The split-legged moonsault, Rolling Thunder.
You could also do them into a swimming pool. That's fun.
Yes, you can.
Walk out in the pool. Someone pee in the pool.
You know what, though? And you want to know, that just reminded me of it. Van Damme could sell any move, and he could sell them well.
Yeah, dude, wrestling psychology 101. RVD was great at selling moves, except that one chop I seen earlier. Who is he fighting? That was that Jason Jett, dude.
Yeah.
Easy money. Yeah,
Easy
there
money.
was like one chop where he just kind of looked at me. He's like, whatever. It's going to be queued up a lot tonight.
Sure.
Real fun fact for you real quick. Dates back to the old school golden era of professional wrestling. For those of you who do not know, Rob Van Dam in 1987 did a skit with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and Virgil.
What?
Yeah, you don't remember this?
No.
You never seen this? It was on that DVD, and then WWE's talked about it a couple times. I think it was some, Ted DiBiase used to always pull kids or whoever out of the audience and make them do something stupid for like $100. And then Virgil or him would always, like the little kid dribbling the basketball and then he'd just kick it away.
Yeah, that's still the best.
Yeah,
that's
dribble
the best.
Yeah.
Dribble this 10 times and he would kick it on the ninth time.
So at the time, RVD's 16 years old. DiBiase offers him $100 to enter the ring and kiss his foot. He's like, my stinky foot, after he just wrestled the match. He takes his boot and everything off. And Van Damme does it, dude. And that was his first ever wrestling appearance.
I wonder if they got that on YouTube.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. It was a real thing. Yeah, they showed it on, like I said, it's on that DVD. And there's a couple other spots I'm sure you can catch it on. Hell, it might even be on the network if you Google Rob Van Dam. Or Google it. Can you Google on the network?
Can you Google it?
I mean, that's how you do anything anymore. Search. New word for search is Google it.
Google it.
But yeah, so check it out. It's a bonus feature also on the Before They Were Superstars DVD, and it most definitely is on the One of a Kind DVD. And he was also in attendance at WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome, Andre versus Hogan.
Was he really?
Yeah. Well, Battle Creek, Michigan. I'm sure anybody that was a wrestling fan back then was like, yeah.
Wasn't Edge there at one of them too?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because he talks about that when he talks about that during it was one of the interviews or whatever, and he talks about how, and they actually got a picture. They got a one of the cameras when it was zooming in, like they actually circle Edge and all of that stuff in the audience. You went to a WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania 8.
Who was headlining?
Actually, it was a weird one. It was supposed to be Flair and Hogan, but they switched it up, and it was like Hogan's semi-retirement match. It was him versus, Sid Vicious, or Sid Justice, as he was known back in the day. And then the Macho Man versus Flair for the belt, the world title. That was when Macho Man came out in like the all-gold outfit. It was pretty badass.
You liked it?
It was ugly.
Was he Macho Man or was he the Macho King?
No, he was the Macho Man at that time.
Macho Man.
Yeah, remember the Macho King? Yeah.
We actually got Macho Man in the studio today, don't we?
Oh, yeah, Big Ed, what's going on? How you doing, man?
How you doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
I'm freaking out, man. Freaking out. 5.
So let me ask you, Macho Man. Your elbow drop or the 5-star frog splash? Which one was better?
Oh, yeah, as sweet as my elbow drop was, let me tell you something. I think I gotta go with the 5-star frog splash ticket.
Macho Man, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, yeah.
You know who else we got in the studio?
Who do we got?
We got Brother Love in the studio.
Oh, what's going on, Brother Love?
Oh, nothing, Juice. How you do? I love you.
Well, thank you. I love you, too. Looking a little red in the face today.
I'm a little red. It's called rosacea.
I think that's a Moist Disciple song. It is. Bandcamp.com, Moist Disciples. Cheap plug. So, Brother Love, how's your podcast going?
It's going pretty good, but it ain't as good as the Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast, brother.
That's fucking right.
That's what I'm talking. Thank you for having me, Juice. So what you drinking over here, Juice? It looks like some tar. It looks like you're drinking tar.
Well,
Juice.
actually, this was my great uncle's spittoon. We just chilled it and poured it out into some of these. What cups do you call these?
They look like tulips, but they look like juicy drippings to me.
They are drippings. Look, there's a little dripping in the bottom of this. This is a Pipeworks Brewing Company. This is Coffee Break Abduction.
Well, you know what I got to say about Pipeworks, baby?
What, the 10.5%?
I love you. All right, Brother Love's got to go.
Good, get the fuck out. He's still alive.
He floated away.
He's like Casper creeping on a come up.
My
money, my murder. Get back to RVD and some of the notable appearances he's made in entertainment. Did you guys know? And I totally forgot about this until tonight. He was on an episode of The X-Files. Did you guys ever watch The X-Files?
He was on The X-Files? I didn't know that.
Dude. Yeah. It was on May 7th as Bert's opponent in the episode Fight Club.
What? Really?
Yep.
Who's Bert?
I don't know. Whoever the fuck Bert is.
Hey, Bert. Hey, Bert. Rubber Dicky Bert.
I got to watch that X-Files.
Yeah, I got to check it out. Not much else.
Acapella.
I had to think for Gillian Anderson. Whatever. Fight me over it. He hasn't really done much notable entertainment other than Hulk Hogan Celebrity Championship Wrestling in 2008, where he was teaching the celebrities how to do finishing moves. Remember, wasn't Dennis Rodman on that?
I think he was.
I think he was.
He didn't go by Dennis Rodman.
He went by Rodzilla. For life. But I did see the one movie. It was like 2011. He put it out. It was with Batista, before Batista had any kind of Drax the Destroyer persona. And Nelson Frazier Jr. in a movie titled The Wrong Side of Town.
Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, Mandela. With his black umbrella. He's also appeared on Family Feud.
Was he?
Yeah.
Dude,
Come on down. Oh, wrong show.
I'm literally gonna be Googling the shit out of all this.
Oh yeah. Check it out, guys. It was in November of 2010. He was a contestant on. It was at this time he was signed with TNA Wrestling. So it was the TNA week of Family Feud where he teamed up with the Black Machismo Jay Lethal. Yeah. Stuttering Matt Morgan.
Bang
Bang McFoley.
Jay Lethal came out and goes, "Did I hear somebody talking about the Four Horsemen?"
That's good, dude. He's got a good nature. Dude. Oh, man, he's got me wet on that one. And their final teammate was Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Kennedy was so much that it just
wait,
so much
wait
better.
for it. Anderson. Kennedy did have a good flow to it. Yeah, and they defeated the team of Angelina Love, Christy Hemme, Lacey Von Erich, God damn, which is the daughter of the Texas Tornado.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Anderson choked our kids.
He did. He choked on it. I should file a fucking lawsuit.
He did.
Where is he now? For those of you gamers out there, Rob Van Dam also lended his voice to the Saints Row the Third video game. He's the character Bobby. He served as a commentator for the Professor Genki.
Oh, yeah,
side
Bobby.
quest. Do you know about that?
Hell no.
I'm okay, Dad.
Hey there, Bobby boy.
And obviously he's been in, all the old shitty ECW video games, 2Ks, which they're awesome. 2K15.
The ECW video game was so bad.
Which
it
one?
reminded me of Raw.
It was
Raw.
Acclaim. Acclaim
it was
doing
terrible.
It was fucking bad. And I did like in the ECW one though. What is it? ECW Hardcore Revolution. It shows them before, the fight screen comes up and it'll show the guy and he's sitting there. RVD's just standing there. He's like, whatever. No, I think he said a lot cooler shit back in that game, but Yeah, so that was just a few of RVD's notable outside of wrestling appearances.
He also starred in Double Team with Jean-Claude Van Damme. He played Jean-Claude's twin.
He may have. He should have. It's uncanny resemblance, man.
Yeah, it's nuts. When I first started watching ECW and it was Rob Van Dam, I'm like, dude, this guy has to be like his brother or cousin or something like that. Mm-hmm. I really thought they looked alike.
Oh, they totally do. And kudos to RVD for taking that gimmick and running with it. I mean, that was proved to be gold. As far as championships go, like we said before, and this is one thing I kind of wanted to touch on, was his ECW television championship reign was over a year, I believe. You remember that shit?
His television championship?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
And then he got hurt, and that's the only reason why he had to give up the title.
Who did he give it up to?
I don't think he gave it up. I don't know if they did a tournament. I can't really remember, but I know he had to forfeit the title, and they did whatever happened after that is. It's a fucking blur. His life's a blur. Fuck him.
I'm supposed to sit here with chew the 3-foot fucking rope. My options are limited, you fucking wise ass.
Right.
Anyway, you know that 10-year-old little fat shit, Garaputo? I'll bite his fucking ear off.
Whoa, settle down, goat.
I can't even bite through the 3-foot fucking rope. You got a regular Starbuck over there.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated, most popular wrestler of the year in 2001 and 2002. He was probably easily the most popular wrestler on the face of the planet back then.
Oh, big time. Big time. That was when he hit the peak of his popularity. The ECW days really...
Yeah,
man, they were nice to him, man. They were really nice to him. I don't know monetarily wise, but as far as popularity,
it afforded him the opportunity to go to WWE on like the scale we're watching now, where as we're talking, he's walking out with the shitty WWE spinner belt. God, I hated that title so much.
Yeah, terrible.
I hated it. Oh, I think that is who he lost the championship to, was the Big Show.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. Does anybody really like the Big Show? Can anybody ever really say they liked him as even the Giant in WCW?
No, I didn't.
Sreten, you were a WCW guy. Did you like the Giant?
I never really paid attention to the Giant.
Yeah, nobody did, and he's kind of fucking hard to miss.
I wonder if Andre liked the Giant.
I don't even know who he is.
He's your illegitimate son, Andre.
It's just bullshit.
From what I heard, you couldn't fit all that meat into one little tiny package.
Yeah, they always fire into walls, butt cracks, breast, lips, facial, mustaches. What?
All right, Andre. Thanks.
French lady mustache.
Andre's sexual misadventures.
Gotta go.
Later.
I love when he pops in every once in a while and says hello.
Yeah, I do too. Sometimes it hurts my back regions when he does. But
I love it too.
Sacra Blue. Oh, that's great.
Rob Van Dam, when what do you think one of his best matches were? Do you think the Jerry Lynn matches were the best of all time?
Best feud of all time with Rob Van Dam. Yeah, they're back and forth with the whole, like, RVD was the whole fucking show and Jerry Lynn was the new effing show.
Yeah.
And those guys put on some fucking clinics, man. And to which they played out in various promotions. They had quite a few battles in TNA, too, right before Jerry Lynn retired a few years ago. So you guys can go on the Global Wrestling Network and check that out.
You said Jerry Lynn, he's lost a substantial amount of muscle.
Yeah.
Than what he did back in
Oh,
the day.
yeah. I don't think he works out like he did. And, I hate to I'm not going to assume anything, but let's just say most of those guys probably were doing something, some kind of bodybuilding supplement or whatever. And speaking of that, Van Dam, who's the inventor of the Van Dam lift, it's a weightlifting technique that involves performing a split, go figure, ouch, where's my cockles, that's going to hurt, maybe a tear, which he took up doing in his early teens.
That's probably why. If you think about it, too, Van Dam,
but you've seen that before.
Size,
I'm talking about.
His thighs were massive.
Oh yeah, it's where he's got like two chairs and he's doing the splits and he's got like the kettlebell or the dumbbell and he's just doing the lifts, doing that, just looking like a total badass, like some 80s martial arts Van Dam shit.
I wonder if Rob Van Dam,
blood sport.
If Rob Van Dam ever met John Claude Van Damme in person.
You know what? I thought I just heard something on that recently. I think they've only met once or twice, and it's been very brief.
But how cool would that be to see them both side by side? Like, wait a second.
Yeah. And real quick, hey, I want to go into their 2006 arrest on July 3rd. So they were partying. This is,
Let's go back.
4th of July Eve. It just caught my attention. As we all know, him and Sabu, a.k.a. Terry Brunk, had been arrested on Route 52 in Hanging Rock, Ohio. How fitting to get arrested in Hanging Rock, Ohio. Yeah, they had been stopped for speeding behind an Ohio State patrol officer who discovered that he was in possession of 18 grams of hashish, 5 Vicodin pills, while Terry Brunk, a.k.a. Sabu, was in possession of drug paraphernalia and 9 tablets of testacalacatone. Probably some kind of steroid.
Damn, Sabu.
Yeah, Sabu got all these painkillers and shit. But, yeah, that sucks.
No wonder he's always pointing to the sky. Dude's always high.
Yeah. But so he finally, when he left TNA, and I think, he was there for like at least 3 years. And he came back to WWE.
When they got arrested, was Sabu singing the hookah blues?
Cue the hookah blues.
That was
That's
a good
great,
one.
Yeah, great theme song. He comes back to, this is what kind of pissed me off when we talked earlier. He comes back to WWE, and he's just a jobber, man. He's a glorified jobber. What do you think about that?
It sucks, man. Like, when he came...
A lot of those dudes who come back, it seems like whether you left Vince at some point, even Kurt Angle, who's back now, it doesn't seem like he's done much. The guy who could still go, like, come on, man, let him go out on top. Like, yeah, maybe put a few guys over along the way, but...
Yeah. Goldberg.
Yeah. The Goldberg came back and had his swan song, and it was it.
Yep.
And I fucking loved it. I thought it was great, man.
It was awesome when he destroyed Brock like that.
It made me think I was like that kid again, like in '98, watching him just come in, destroy, and leave. And so to see RVD come back, who is still at age 47 in great shape. I mean, he's got a little bit of a belly now, but I know he's still doing stuff on the indies. You can catch him in all these cons and RobVanDam.com. You can buy some merch. I know he's got shirts at 1 Hour Tees.
Van Dam does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got a online merch store set up. So
I'll be right back, Juice. I'm going to go to 1 Hour Tees.
That's right. And you can go to 1 Hour Tees, and you can also go to Juice Pro Wrestling on Instagram at Juice Pro Wrestling. You can go to Juice Pro Wrestling on Facebook and join the JP Woo. What is the JP Woo? It's the Juice Pro Wrestling universe. But, of course, you already knew that. Yeah, dummy. Yeah. You can also check us out on YouTube by going to www.jpdub.com or listen to us at www.greendoornetwork.com or whatever podcast platform you're using, whether you're using Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play. It doesn't matter because we're there, dude.
Did I just hear that JP Dub Podcast is on the Green Door Network?
Yeah.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Whatever.
Whatever.
And we're also on Twitter at JPDub Podcast. So follow us, call us, and leave us a message too at 1-872-267-4199. Now that we got all the promotion out of the way,
Hey,
real quick.
Who just followed the JP Dub on Twitter?
Oh, it's funny. We were watching tonight. Jerry Lynn and Mikey Whipwreck. They have their podcast going, and we're sitting here. We're watching a match, old ECW, and next thing you know, I'm looking at my phone, and I get a little, who's following you type thing. Once again, at JP Dub Podcast. I'm looking here in my notifications in front. Where are they called? Oh, Sreten, you're gonna have to edit that out. It's a little stutter in my phone. Front row material. God damn it, technology's a piece of shit. But yeah, that's Jerry Lynn and Mikey Whipwreck from ECW. That's their podcast. So shout out to Front Row Material at FRM Pod on Twitter. You check them guys out. I'm sure they got a hella good Rob Van Dam stories for you, especially Jerry Lynn. Before we exit here, where would you? Okay, first of all, I'm going to give it to you. Well, I start thinking things. My mind's always going. The Big Bopper. As far as ECW goes, is Rob Van Dam probably the best superstar they produced?
I think they're the best wrestler. that they produced, but you got to think, man, Stone Cold came from there too.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
He wasn't
ECW
Stone
original.
Cold. Yeah. Yes, 100%.
ECW original.
ECW original. I'm gonna say that RVD is on the top of the list. I'm a Sabu guy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to mention Rob Van Dam without mentioning Sabu. I was also a huge Taz fan, so I'm gonna say Rob Van Dam, Sabu, and Taz for sure. Dreamer's up there just because the dude
He's
dude
still
bled.
going,
Yeah,
dude.
he
He's
bled
still
ECW, man. You know, even though the thing is I felt like Dreamer went in there and did whatever he had to do to put the company over, and it didn't matter if he got a championship or not. He just did what he had to do,
right?
Which was fine. But as far as just Van Dam, man, he takes it.
Yeah. Van Dam, I would probably have to put him in my top 10 of greatest of all time.
He's in my top 5.
Really?
For sure, 100%.
Nice. Yeah, I'd have to put him in there too. I would have to. I mean, he was great. I fucking
top 5. I'm gonna say probably Bastion Booger, Brooklyn Brawler.
Yes. Mantar.
Yep, I really liked the Boogeyman.
Boogeyman.
And then I'm gonna say, then Van Dam. I mean,
Yeah.
Bastion Booger. That guy, I couldn't stand it.
Bastard Booger.
Booger.
Would you say he's the worst wrestler?
Ever?
Yeah.
Probably.
Bastion
No,
Booger.
no. There was a lot worse out there.
But he was bad.
Nerds. Sreten over there with that 80s shout out. Revenge of the Nerds. Love it.
It was pretty good.
Hey, did you have a good time tonight?
I had a good time.
I'm about to have a real good time.
You know what's
man. You know what I'm
crazy?
saying? I'm about to advocate that RVD.
This episode's about to be up in smoke, son.
Smoke 'em up. Wet 'em up. Light 'em up. Wet 'em up. Wet 'em up. Whatever. You gonna do sex to me?